Hi, this is Doris from there'saplaceintheworld.com, and today I'm going to go over some tips for finding writing jobs on Upwork. When I first started out as a writer, I found work in 3 different places. First, from a friend who allowed me to contribute to her blog and eventually apply for sponsored posts, and then through a posting on Craigslist, and the third place was on Upwork.com. Now you can learn more about sponsored posts in my ebook and on my website. If you're interested in finding work on Craigslist, I made a video about doing that on my YouTube channel. You can check those out if you're interested. In this video, I'm going to explore Upwork with you so that you can decide if it is a good place for you to look for work as you get started on your journey of building a career as a writer online. Okay, let's go over here to my profile. I'm going to walk you through the profile. Let's just start right here. When you create your profile, your general profile, you'll start out with a bio. They'll ask you to put in an hourly rate, things like that. Now this section right here, and this is my work history and feedback, it's important to remember that on Upwork, your employers can leave feedback and they can give you ratings from your work that you did. It's important to establish and maintain good working relationships with anybody that you work with because they can review you on your profile and it stays on there. Okay, now down here, the next section is portfolio, and then after that, skills. These two are the most important elements to your profile, and they're going to help you stand out. My sister tried to create a profile, but her profile was rejected because it was too general. So it's important that you link to as many of your writing samples as possible and be very specific when you list your skills. As a side note, I do a lot of ghostwriting, and I don't feel comfortable linking to work that does not include my byline. So you'll see I just have some general stuff right here, and it doesn't include the ghostwriting work that I do. That's something where I can provide the links to potential employers if I want to do something specific. Upwork also has the option, you'll see up here, to create specialized profiles. These allow you to separate your skill set and make it easier for you to target certain types of jobs. So for example, if you have a history in academic writing and you also have a history in writing for businesses, you can make 2 separate specialized profiles if you want to target academic writing jobs or business writing jobs. Okay, so once you get your skills put in there, your portfolio, your bio, and when you go down further, you'll see that you basically are putting your resume in here, your employment history, your education, other experience. And again, you just need to be as detailed as possible. Mine is not nearly as detailed as it should be if I was actively looking all the time on Upwork. Okay, now once you have your profile created, you can start searching for jobs. There are a lot of people, especially in the world of training people to write online, who are really negative about job boards like Upwork. Their argument is that it's a race to the bottom where writers are constantly trying to underbid one another, and then ultimately the work is very poorly. It doesn't pay well, so it's not worth it to try and find work on these sorts of job boards. There is some truth to that argument, and there are employers on Upwork who post ridiculous rates for jobs. You know, they may ask you to write a 1,000-word article for $5. But there is also real opportunity on Upwork, especially for beginners. When I was starting out, I found jobs on Upwork for decent pay. And through those jobs, I got experience. I learned a lot about blogging for businesses, and I also made some great connections. And I got to do some interesting work. You know, as my career expanded, I started to find work in other ways, but Upwork was an excellent launching pad for me, and I recommend it to any writer who's getting started out that hasn't built a large portfolio of work. Let's look through some of the job postings. Now, as I mentioned, when you're creating your profile, it's important to be as specific as possible. The same would be true for when you're setting up your job search. You know, there are a lot of opportunities, a lot of jobs posted on Upwork, and the vast majority of them are not going to be the right fit for you. So it's a waste of your time to look through every single job post. Narrow your search down as much as you can based off of your experience and your education and your knowledge, and that will help you find work that actually applies to you. And then if you don't find anything, then you can expand the search. One way to narrow your search is to put US only freelancers. There are several clients or several employers on Upwork who only want to work with contractors that are in the US. So that narrows it down. You'll have some categories right here where you can also narrow it down further. You can narrow it down by how much time you have available to work. You can also narrow it down by whether it's beginner, intermediate, or expert. Okay, so let's see right here. Writer for SEO content creation and the digital marketing, 1,000 words at $25 a post. We'll click on this. When you go down here, you'll see they only want freelancers located in the US. They want to hire 2 freelancers. And then they go into detail about, really this is a pretty general job post because they're not telling you what you're going to be writing about, okay? So this one is one that I would say is going to have a lot of competition because it's so vague. But you'll see the description of the job. Price, they're looking for someone at the intermediate level, ongoing project, and in some of these job postings they'll say, put this word at the beginning of your proposal or answer this question. Pay attention, because if you don't do that one little thing that they ask you to do, they're going to know that you did not read the whole posting and that you're not a detail-oriented person, or you might not be very good at following directions. So it's important that you pay attention to those things. Skills and expertise, okay, preferred qualifications, and then you can see how many proposals. You can also see if they're interviewing anyone, if they've invited anyone to apply. Okay, now you go up here. Let's say that you want to submit a proposal. This one requires 4 connects to submit a proposal. When you get on Upwork and start exploring it, you'll see that there are some costs associated with applying for work and doing work on this platform. So it's something that you need to keep in mind. And here we go. You're going to put in a proposed price for it. You can see the client's budget. Do you want to be paid by milestone or project? That's up to you. Milestone, smaller segments. By project, the entire payment at the end. The client may prefer to do it a certain way, so just pay attention to what they are wanting. So let's just say we want to do 1 milestone. Let's have the due date be October 11th. We'll go with what the client said they would want to pay. Now, this is important. We propose $150 for the total price of the project, okay? Upwork has a service fee, and for a project at this cost, the service fee is going to be $30, so you are going to receive $120 in payment after the service fee. That's an important thing to remember or to realize, and when you go to create a profile and explore Upwork, you can see their service fees, they list them, and you can decide if having access to a job board like this and having the protection of getting paid through a platform like Upwork is worth the price that you're going to pay in service fees. Okay? So down here you can put a cover letter for your proposal. That's the question that they wanted answered in the proposal. And then you can also attach anything else that you want to. So documents to support your application. Your profile is already forwarded to the client, so you don't need to duplicate things that are on your profile. But if you have something that you think is relevant, then you submit your proposal. Okay, so that's the basics. That's the basics of how to do a proposal. Now, the jobs that you decide to apply for are important because it's going to be frustrating to apply for a lot of work and hear no response back. So like I said, you need to narrow your search down as narrowly as possible and try to focus on areas where you have some sort of niche expertise. And the second thing you need to do is be honest with yourself about the type of work you can do. You know, there are a lot of writers that use their research skills to learn and write about a variety of topics. I'm one of them. I've written about a wide range of topics. But there is a limit to your ability to do this. And it will take you a lot longer to write on topics that you have absolutely no previous knowledge of. The third thing you need to remember when you're placing bids and creating proposals is that lower is not always better when you submit bids. You need to place a realistic bid. You know, business owners that are looking for a long-term writer should understand that no one is going to stick around for long if they're being paid poorly. Do not be part of the race to the bottom and place bids under the other writers simply because you want to get the job. You need to think about the amount of money you're willing to do the work for long term. The key tips for finding writing jobs on Upwork are be as detailed as you can on your profile, add in as many links to your other content online as you can, add in very specific skills, think about the niche areas where you have expertise and you can write on. And then when you do start to search for jobs, make your search as narrow as possible. You know, we're trying to drill down to those areas where you stand out from the crowd, where you're not just a generalist like so many other writers are on Upwork. So narrow your search down as much as you can. The next tip is to be honest with yourself about the type of work you can do. I know that in the beginning, it seems like the more the better when you're applying, but in reality, you're probably wasting your time. Apply for work that is a good fit for you. You will have more success in that type of situation and you'll enjoy yourself more. And then remember that lower is not always better when you submit bids. Be realistic about what you're willing to do a job for, now and in the future, and don't accept terrible pay. I just saw a posting on another job board. They wanted a 500-word blog post. They were willing to pay $2.50 to $3, depending on experience. That is absurd. Don't do it. I hope this was helpful. Upwork can be frustrating, but it is also full of opportunities if you're willing to put in the work. If you have more questions, you can put those below or visit me over at there'saplaceintheworld.com. Thanks.